Mirth Mischief is actually, it's difficult to describe it because it's unlike anything that's been in the Southeast so far. This is a truly immersive theater experience inside a Renaissance castle. How we came up with it started a long time ago in 2014 when I was relaxing on a beach in Miami, and the song Superstition by Stevie Wonder came into my head, and with it came a whole vision for fairies and soul music. And that's kind of where the ingredients of the story began. So I had a show in my head, which often happens, with nowhere to do it. That is when my best friend Mary Waldrop told me, there is a castle in Helen, Georgia. You won't believe it. It's huge, it's massive, it's incredible. So I drove up, and the moment I saw those 14-foot doors and saw the 2.5 acres inside the walls and the gorgeous views that we've got here, I knew this is the place.
When I first heard about the show and where it was going to be, I thought to myself, who is this person and family that has built a castle in Helen, Georgia, and why? The follow-through of that, the commitment of that, once I got here, I knew that something deep and important was going on here.
It was built by Bob Marthe. He and 5 guys apparently built this place. Their mission is about the search for knowledge and through various spiritual pathways. Bob was a psychology professor, so there's a lot of symbology from mythology and other things you'll see around the grounds. So it's a really unusual place to find, which is a castle that has to do with search for inner knowledge, which laid over perfectly with our storyline. I have been in this industry now for 30 plus years, and I've been collecting what I call my favorite people, and a lot of them happen to be extremely accomplished artists on their own. We have Bubba Carr, who is our movement director.
Previously in my career, I was a dancer in Los Angeles for about 20 years, and I mostly toured with Cher for a long time, like 4 world tours, part of the Vegas show, and then I moved to Atlanta, and I still choreograph for film and television there, and I run a dance studio for professional dancers called Excel Studios, and that's really where I found the dancers for this show.
He has an extremely beautiful way of expressing story through body movement. So Bubba is one of my best buddies, and he and I have been working together forever.
We're kind of both goofy and super creative and like to laugh a lot. We talk about what she wants in her vision, then I kind of try to implement it, and then it just kind of flows and goes, yeah. The inspiration for some of this choreography, one in particular, this solo that Jacob does, it's Nijinsky, it's Evening of the Fawn. It's to a jazz blues song, but I wanted to make the structure of it pretty abstract and the actual movement itself more modern, like old school modern. Kelly's really into weight sharing and all that stuff when she watches dance. And so I try to incorporate a lot of that and beauty and romance, but not more like spiritual romance. I think we really see that in that duet. And then the other acrobats, of course, their energy is so effervescent. They're 20 years old. They love life. They love dancing. They would do anything you ask them to do. They're twins, so they kind of have this telepathic communication way about them that every time I see them, I just get so much joy from them because they're just so connected to themselves, each other, and their art.
You'll see some exquisite movement on this. Anything that moves, that's dancer or aerialist or any other character, has had a little bit of magic put in them by Bubba Carr.
My name is Vitaly Buza. I am here representing the aerial performers. Also, I'm going to be the operator for the winch to make sure they're all safe to going up and down. So that's my job. I was born and raised in Moldova, and I started as a gymnast. And then when I was 15 years old, I got recruited to Moscow State Circus, and I've been performing since then. I performed for many companies such as Disney World, SeaWorld. Then I joined Cirque du Soleil. I've been a coach at Cirque du Soleil. Now I own my agency, my entertainment agency, where I provide high acrobatics talents for special events and for such occasions. This is, it's called Aerial Moon. and it's an aerial apparatus where has, as you see, has a hand loop for an artist to perform high-skill acrobatics. We also have aerial straps. This is something, like I say, it's not the everyday that you see, especially in a place like this. I strongly believe that people will walk away with pleasant memories.
It's all very personal when they're in Act 1. So we have Freebird, who is our R&B vocalist who sings live through all of Act 1. Freebird and 3 rewrote a bunch of music that you'll recognize, but all completely remixed in brand new ways just for this show and re-engineered it.
Welcome, good people, to Uhuburg Castle. I know it's a mouthful, but you will have your heartful by the end of the experience. Trust me on this. There are in these walls and halls so many varied, mystical, magical creatures to experience.
You don't know what to expect because it's all around you and it's different all the time. And depending on what you do and decisions you make, your experience is going to be wholly different than the first time you did it. You do the order differently. You make a different choice in a different room. You come in on something at a different point at which it's underway. So it's really just this constant fluid process that you can step into and have your own experience dictated by you. So you'll see all around the grounds, we have creatures that are part of our kingdom that have come alive through the art of puppetry, and Steve Whitmire is our puppet master. You might know him from the world of Henson. Back when Jim Henson passed away, Steve became the very famous Kermit and Ernie and did that role for almost 30 years. So he is our director of puppetry. Steve and I had been talking, I think it was 15 years ago, about this concept. And we got going one evening talking over dinner about it, and he immediately jumped in and thought, I have ideas.
One of the first things that I heard Kelly say early on in the discussions about this was, and I think they used it in their marketing, was no fantasy is complete without a dragon. So I immediately thought, well, we have to have a dragon. So we set about trying to create a massive dragon that would fit on a particular spot. And as I walked through the grounds for the first time, I noticed this one turret that seemed like the perfect spot. So that's where our dragon has landed.
The dragon that we have is massive. Right now, without his tail, he's about 12 feet long, and his wingspan is over 12 feet across. His head's 3D printed, and the head itself is over 30 inches long from the tip of the nose to the horns. He's a rod-style puppet. He's more mechanical. Rather than having a hand up inside, he's operated with a rod and trigger to make the mouth open, and the puppeteer operates in more like a parade puppet.
And there are two people inside. Leif Tilden, who I worked with way back on dinosaurs in the early 90s, and Thomas Trin, who will be in the back. So Leif is in the front running the head on a long pole. Thomas will be in the back making the wings open and making them move and gesture a bit. One of my first thoughts here was that a great species of inhabitant for the grounds would be gnomes. Twiggleknock is the last of the gnomes, and he lives inside of a hollow tree. He does not make cookies, but he lives there. So it was twofold. Not only did we have to come up with these characters, but we had to come up with the right sets to put the people who are running the puppets inside of. We worked with a foam sculptor named Ning Chow, who does nothing but build giant styrofoam things. So he built this wonderful tree. And then Mitch Mitten, who is a local Atlanta artist who does woodworking incredibly well, built Twiggleknock's house that fits into the tree. So it's really an effort of about 4 or 5 people overall to get this thing done. Eldros is another character that we did. As you walk around the castle grounds, there are all these sort of passageways underneath the walls of the castle, and people can go in those places. And there's one particular spot that you come to with an arch, and I felt that we could build a wall there and house this gargoyle-type face in the wall. That's what we did. So you stumble across Eldros, who is the keeper of all secrets.
I was trapped here when our prince fell to darkness.
There are different areas within the grounds that are interactive. They aren't scripted programs. There are scripted segments, performance segments, but the areas with the puppets are very interactive. They're designed to get the guests to come in and have an opportunity to chat with these guys. So it's a lot more conversational, and it should be really interesting to see some of the conversations that come out of it. So, thanks, Wiggle. Yeah.
You followed that script?
I did, thank gosh. Thanks for writing that for me.
I'm Autumn. And I'm Rachel, and we're the Reed twins. So we're actually going to be doing kind of a lot in the show. We start off as one of us will be cherry blossom trees. You won't know which one. One of us will be on an aerial moon serving champagne. Again, who knows who? And then we transition into fairies. We're going to be frolic fairies. You can see us about here. You can see us about there. And then last, we end the night in these costumes. We will be doing a fire performing in these.
I'm Eugenia, or Eugenia. I am going to be the dragon, Kiefer. That's my dragon up there. His name is Drakvaris. You hang out with the dragon, I'm going to be fire dancing as well.
We got involved through Ashley. She's super talented, and she was like, I know someone. The dragon, we've known her for a long time, doing circus together in the circus community in Atlanta. Every community is so small, really, so now they're just all like our family. So yeah.
I am very honored to have by my side Ashley Skelly, who is our art director. She's actor, she's makeup person, she's a wardrober herself, but she's also the spirit of all of this fantasy storytelling. So she's written backstories for all the characters that they will digest tonight that really informs everything that they're doing in a real way. So they're not just performing, but they're embodying the spirit of these characters.
We really put a lot into the character development and the set design and the costumes, and a lot of things came together to make this world a reality. So we're really just hoping that it awakens people's imaginations and their own creative spirit.
Additionally, we're honored to have with us Julie Bone, who is an accomplished world award-winning body painter from Germany, who has created a few of our costumes and will also be performing in a little bit of opening weekend.
What is this frequency? 440 Hz. What's an Hz? Hertz. Is that a disease? My name is Paul Mercer. I'm a violinist and composer from Mirth Mischief. I'm playing the role of Lyricus, the court composer and sonic alchemist. His wife has been frozen in time, and he's been trying to find a way to rejoin her in the time continuum. I'm here to educate people a little bit. The education is just to listen with your own ears. And I do believe that the world is fallen out of tune in many ways. And if anybody can take something out of my performance here, it's that, yeah, it's kind of all a little suspicious and weird that we're tuning to the exact same frequency and nobody ever asks why. But don't let that knowledge lead you to the conclusion that you must instead be tuning to another frequency that is instead the frequency everybody should be tuning to. And if you can get past those two things, you can start hearing the world in a different way. And I can babble about this stuff forever, but you should probably edit me down.
Well, first of all, I wanted to welcome everyone, all you wonderful people. These are my favorite people in this room. I'm gonna cry, it's gonna happen, get ready. So, but this has been a huge, long project, 10 years at least, that this has been percolating. And we were really selective and very intentional with the people that we put on this show. And I know people are noticing. Look up, you won't cry. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting everything you have in this for me, for us.
Her vision, her ability to crystallize an idea and explain it to people with money and get that money from those people is incredible. I knew I'd love working with her. All of her productions are very powerful and meaningful. She's so good at finding roles for people because she sees through people and what their kind of essence is. And then when she has a role for them, she's like, you will flourish here. And she nails it.
Kelly is a wonderful person to work with. Her creativity, the way she envisions everything, and people that she hires, she always wants like the best of the best. It's an honor to be here with her.
We gather not just as players, but as portals. We gather not just to perform, but to transform. Tonight, we call upon the spirit of sacred laughter, the mischief of the unseen, and the mirth of the mystery herself. May every step we take on this stage be a remembering. May every word, every gesture, every glance carry the weightlessness of wonder and the depth of ancient dreams.
As cheesy as it sounds, that I have to say it like this, like anything is possible. Just considering the way that things come together and people don't really get to see the behind the scenes, how the mic packs come together, how the costume comes together, how this makeup artist had this brush that this person was missing so that this part looks perfect. Like, it's feels like a miracle when it comes together and looks so good, and you're so professional. It's like, you guys are flying by the seat of our pants. So you should know, if you wanted to do something, don't worry about it trying to be perfect. I hope you know you can just go out there and create something and get people with the spirit to want to do it with you, and it will multiply in its beauty and hopefully touch the world, touch people.
We offer this work to the spirit of the in-between, where joy and sorrow dance together, where chaos births creation, where the heart meets the unknown and says yes. May those who watch feel the spark. May those who perform feel the freedom. And may we all leave a little more alive, a little more awakened, a little more woven into the great tapestry of becoming. Mirth and Mischief, you are now alive. May you ripple beyond what we cannot, I can't see anymore. May you ripple far beyond what we can see, and so it is. And with that,